Howdy. So, it's been a minute, and there's been some good reason and some not so good reason why we haven't seen each other in over a month. Part of it is just because I had my birthday, I got lazy. Been trying to get back in the rope of things, but it's literally like a million degrees. Yeah, so it's just been completely demotivating to get out here in the garage where it's ridiculously hot. I'll put a clip in here to show you what we're talking about, but we're working on the Z, or we're starting to work back towards getting to the Z, because right now the Z needs some parts, and some of them you're going to see in this video, some of them you're going to see in the next video, but we got some cool trick components coming in. The first of which is the GKTech dual stud conversion kit. This bad mamma jamma. Now, if you don't know what this is or what the whole point of it is, I'll break it down really simple. The stock rear diff, there's one stud that comes out, and that's how it holds into the car. If you're constantly beating the crap out of the diff, that stud will break, and bad news bears. This falls out of the car, and you're done. GKTech made this cool trick component that I've had since last November that I got on a Black Friday deal. The idea is that there will be now two of these instead of just one to match other cars in Nissan's fleet. The only problem is that means we have to drill a hole in the subframe. If you're doing poly like me, you're gonna have to drill some holes and weld some aluminum. So the concept is that they send you a template like this, right? So this goes over the stock one. You mark it here with the little line up pull thing, and then you drill a hole. Then you have to test that everything lines up with the new cover. I think in theory that they want you to test the bushing inside the sleeve, but the size of this is kind of sucky. So enter excuse number 4 on why we haven't been working, and that is because my 3D printer took a crap, and I needed the 3D printer to make this guy. The idea is that once you get this one in position with the diff, you put the diff back in, you slide this in like that, you take your little bolt, you stick it through, and you make sure everything lines up before you weld this in. We need to pull the diff out of the car and drill a hole and swap the cover. And we need to do so without getting heat stroke. It's a hell of a challenge. We're gonna crawl under the sucker, and we're gonna work on getting the diff out of the car so we can drill a hole. Alright, so I'm going to be extremely honest with you. It's currently August, and I started this video probably somewhere around mid-July. We're now closer to mid-August, and last night we finally just got the diff cover on. Bam. The only reason why I'm just now able to work on this is because it's hot. It's extremely hot. It's been over 100 degrees in the garage, over 110 for a lot of the days, and today's yesterday and today are like the first days that it's dipped below 100 and stayed pretty much below 100 for the most of the day. So it is cool. We're now at the point where things start getting chaotic, and I know it may already look chaotic, but it's going to get worse. we're gonna try and mark where we're gonna drill and cut and start that process. We'll put the diff in, verify that the hole looks right, drop it back out of the car, and yeah, we'll see if we can get the sleeve at least in position tonight. Oh yeah, and if I haven't mentioned it, there is a tiny bit of urgency because Spooky Drift is at the end of October. Musselman, the track where Spooky is held, has open drift the first weekend of every month. I think it's the first Saturday night of every month. Those are prime opportunities to go testing. With it already being halfway through August, we have the September open drift and October open drift before Spooky, and that's it. So we got 2 events that we're gonna make. We got 2 weeks until the next one, and then if I miss that one, then we only have 1 more opportunity to take this and go testing. So yeah, less yap, more work. So today's episode of Crafts with Patrick, I've got this cool piece of paper here. We've got to cut the dotted line out of that little hole and maybe color it in. Start small, go big. Hopefully my shit's charged. Aluminium. It's sprinkling, folks. Yeah. Gonna be a fun night. The battery's pissed. I'm sure you've noticed by now that I've been not documenting this well, and that's partly because it's just so hot that the GoPro keeps shutting off. It is 10 a.m. and it is like 93 degrees in the garage, and the reason why the door is closed is because it's hotter outside. I'm out here early this morning we're gonna pull the wheels off, the calipers, and just start making some kind of progress in the little bit of hours that we have. I'm gonna just do some work, and I'm probably not gonna film it because the camera keeps dying and it's a pain to monitor the camera, plus do the work, plus struggle with the work. So I'm just gonna do some stuff, and I'll check in with you in a little bit. So it's Monday now, and on Sunday morning, I pulled the W brace off, I took the wheels off, took the calipers off, I unbolted the coilovers, disconnected the e-brake cables, pretty much everything, and started to free the subframe. Like I said, the W brace had to come out, which this thing was so hammered, it was unbelievable. All of this was folded against this part of the W brace. This part's bent, and I'm pretty sure the chassis is actually bent right here. That's my suspicion. I can't tell yet because I don't have an actual W brace. It's not bent to crap. As you can see, it's been dragging. You can see the imprint of the actual metal. And this took a solid hour and a half of beating at it with a mini sledge and all kinds of stuff, and even having to weld a nut on to get the last bolt out because it was so worn down, and the lip of the W brace was so smashed against the nut or the bolt that you couldn't even get a socket or even a wrench on it. So you could see the bolt under there. So I just welded this nut to it. Yeah. I also now know why my fuel tank reads a quarter tank low. and that's because the side on the driver's side has been smashed up and into the car. I don't know if you can tell, but to show you how low it's been, this is a subframe bolt right here. This guy right here, that's a bolt. Here's one I just pulled out. This one, I'm gonna have to weld a nut to it because there is no way in hell, there's no surface on this side that I will be able to get a socket on. It's completely worn it down entirely. I hope you can see. You can't, you're just looking at the back of my head. Huzzah! Holy shit. That's perfect. Dude, you couldn't have asked for a better situation, right? Like, it's perfectly balanced on that jack. That's sick. But we're gonna turn this, I gotta move this, and we're gonna slide this over here, which means I gotta put my welder back away, even though I've already put it away once since we started this project. Move this brace out of the way, that go out in the trash can. And then we can start stripping it down again, pull the diff out, etc. And start getting this sleeve buzzed in. PDQ here. This is a big project. This is the biggest project I've ever done on a car. Alright, this thing is kind of in position. It's filthier than crap. I need to jack this up on 4 points so it's stable. Remove the diff, lower the diff, drop the diff out just like it would be in the car, just so I can lighten the load. I even contemplated removing the control arms, all the control arm points, right? So these aren't alignment factors anymore. It's strictly just the lengths, right? Some of these bushings in the knuckle are probably need to be replaced, but I don't know if that's a now job or not. But this is very quickly having a scope creep type issue, it seems. So either way, just getting the subframe up on 4 jack stands is kind of the next factor here, and cleaning all this off. Holy crap, I've never seen so many weather warnings on one phone at one time in Arizona. What the hell? Yeah, like 91. We're almost in the 80s right now. This sucker was at 100 when I came outside. It's wild. I love Arizona. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, you get some rain. That's all you get. Alright, so after what feels like an eternity of wrenching, especially in the heat, we've got the subframe completely stripped down. No arms, no knuckles, no diff, nothing. So we gotta get this thing cleaned off and we gotta get the piece welded in. I'm gonna try to do the 110 aluminum welding. This thing's such a big heat sink, I don't know if it's gonna be able to hack it. So I'm going to probably outsource this to somebody else. So I'll be making some, reaching out to some people and seeing who could do it. I'll make a video for you guys and we will go from there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.